Good afternoon, everyone. This is Matt over at MilestoneCGP.com. Today is Monday, January 30th. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm going to get into some lines here on the SPY. Everybody who followed me this weekend, I called a couple of exits this morning. From last week, I apologize. I said Thursday was the high. Thursday was the high beautifully, and we faded and then we opened that big gap down today, and I don't think we're done. I do think we do have a measured move coming, but we'll have to see what happens. Only time will tell with Trump and how his shakeup is going to go. But nice to see a little bit of volatility starting to kick back in here. Going to need some better candles than this to make a lot of money, but um, the positions that I called to the WhatsApp members, some of them were great percents this morning, 200 and change percent. I called exit on 153% and holding several of them, but there's great percents in there, that's for sure. So I want to identify SPY right now in the 15-minute chart. We'll start there and then we'll evaluate a little bit of a longer term time frame. And I'm anybody who follows me knows that I just like I'm basic. I do have tons of indicators that I use and special charts that we have designed. But for basic looking and understanding, I like to see just the candles so I can see what the buying and selling is doing. So right now you have a downtrend line here, you have a downtrend line here, and this is a closed candle on the 15-minute. We had a nice little pop up the last 45, nothing spectacular. But today we came down and it was a great drop, but we did not tag this line yet, only because the lower Bollinger Band on the daily was right here at this lower wick, and that's where the bounce came into play and pulled it up a little bit. Plus you were oversold on some very low time frames, but so it managed to bounce up a little bit today. So we missed this trend line here. I don't think we're done getting this. I do think we're going to get it. It could be after we get this right here. Who knows? We got this gap right here. Actually, we have a double gap. We have a gap on this side and a gap on this side, but we'll get this gap and that'll close everything. If it breaks this tomorrow morning, you're going to have some resistance on the top of this candle. Then you'll have resistance here, which will probably fall in line with each other, somewhere in this area. But if not, look for, maybe some news tonight, and maybe we'll gap down to this area over here, and then push down here to start spreading these Bollinger Bands a little bit, so we can get some market moving moves now. We've had a great big move up. We'll go to the daily now real quick. We've had some big moves up off of these lows over here. It just rocketed. So I mean, there's plenty of room for downside, limited upside until we get a reset. But you can see here a little bounce on the daily, came down, tagged this line, and came up to this area here. But right now there's nothing in play. We got the Fed coming up, so there's some other stuff this week too that should either shake the market or break the market to the upside. So we'll have to see what happens. So we got a little bit of a trend line here, and if it stays within this and it's all great news and everything's perfect, then our next move should be right here. If not, we're gonna challenge this here and push to the low side. So again, though, we missed this by a little bit. You could, on the lower time frame, you could see it, and if I put it there on the daily. So that's what's giving me the trigger that we are still going to pull back down a little bit, plus some of the indicators are stating it also. But we do have a nice little gap in this area at 220, and potentially we could come and grab this 220 gap over here, if this line is broken and if this line is broken. So we'll have to manage that as it comes into play. So great trade so far this week, looking really good. It's only day one. You can join us in Skype if you'd like. Just add me as a contact, Matto STC. We're doing this all day long. We played Boeing. We played a whole bunch of stuff, not just one thing. But I just wanted to give you a market outlook. So join us there. Stop in at milestonecgp.com if you want to follow my trades on WhatsApp. At the very bottom of the page, you can sign up there. Remember, it's just for learning. All this is just for learning, and these are my opinions only. All right, everyone, have yourself a fantastic night. See you tomorrow.